So going into this 2024 season for the Giants, was anybody expecting anything really of note? What was going to go on with this Giants team? Brian Daboll's second year as a head coach, no, his third year as a head coach, and that's again, this was his third year as a head coach for the Giants, and Josh Adam. Josh Adam is still the GM of this team. Um, they drafted Malik Neighbors, who again, he did good this year. 7 touchdowns, seven receiving touchdowns this year. Not a bad year for him. But again, the two big losses for this team, and it just screams Giants football, baby. Um, Saquon Barkley and Paris Campbell both go to the Eagles and win the Super Bowl. You couldn't write anymore. Like, you had for so long, you had a MVP level Saquon Barkley for so long on your team. You never built around Saquon Barkley and actually got him. You never gave them a good quarterback to work with and build around him. And he went to the Eagles, and he's like, I'm sick of the New Jersey lifestyle, fucking being Giants football, baby. I want to win a championship. I'm gonna go for a quarterback that knows what the fuck he's doing. So he, him and Paris Campbell, go to the Eagles, win a championship, and great stuff for both of them. Congratulations to both of those guys. For the Giants, on the other hand, they still had Danny Dimes as the quarterback because again, the old regime of the Giants, when they had Joe Judge as their head coach, they gave Danny Dimes his contract, and the Giants stuck with Danny Dimes and his contract, and that has really fucked them over in the last couple of years, especially drafting wise. But ultimately, after this, midway through this season, they release him. So they're starting Tommy DeVito, who's an undrafted draft pick, 2023. They have Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock as their quarterbacks for the rest of the year. And again, if you're going to go all out for tanking and go for them for actually tanking and getting yourself a quarterback, then why the hell are you winning meaningless games? Like, you're winning meaningless games. You win 3 games all year. You start with a 1-2 record. It's just again, know your assignment, which is ultimately to tank to get yourself a 1-2 position in the draft, hopefully one, and then you go for a Shedeur Sanders or you go for a Cam Ward. That's the two best options for quarterback this year. Or you go for a Sam Darnold or an Aaron Rodgers or whatever, but you need to draft yourself a quarterback. That has been the biggest glaring problem in this organization for the longest time. It is a recognized QB. And you look at the additions they have. They have again Theo Robinson. They drafted Theo Robinson in Tyrone Tracy Jr., Andre Phillips. So again, they're kind of a couple other guys they drafted with Malik Neighbors, who's he was the MVP of this team last season. Malik Neighbors of this season. But again, even though Danny Dimes released midway through the season, he still had 2,000 passing yards. It wasn't the best, but he had 2,000 passing yards. Rushing yards, Tyrone Tracy Jr. had 879 rushing yards. You had Neighbors who had over 1,000 receiving yards, 1,204 receiving yards. Points against, the defense there was 31st. They was 21st out of 32. 31st points for. It was 31st out of 31 out of 32. Passing yards 28. Rushing yards 23rd out of 32. The needs. They need a miracle. No. They need, like I said during this video, quarterback. They are third in this draft. They have in the first round they have a third overall pick, which is great. And if a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward drops at 3, so say like you could have Cam Ward maybe gets drafted at 1, then Travis Hunter gets drafted at 2, and then Shedeur Sanders comes at 3. You go, or okay, maybe Shedeur Sanders, and he comes at 3. He drops at 3. You draft him. Don't draft somebody like an Abdul Carter or anybody else like that, because again, you need a quarterback. But again, if you trade at 2 with the skid marks, you can get yourself a Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders, because again, one of those guys is going to be gone 1 or 2, and then you're going to be going into maybe the second round, and you're going to go for Jalen Monroe. Again, I haven't seen him, so I cannot talk about him. Or you're going to go for like a Jackson Dart. But again, Jackson Dart, in my opinion, he's got talent, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to take you to that next level. In my opinion, I just think he's a day 2 pick. But yeah, you need a quarterback. Get a quarterback. Quarterback, you need an edge, a wide receiver, a tight end and wide receiver, an offensive tackle to help the young quarterback when you get a quarterback, another running back, and a defensive line. So then there's a lot of things to do, but you only got 45 million cap space, so you have to be smart with what you do in the draft. Again, there's a couple of really additions you can move on, like Wan'Dale Robinson. Move him on. He hasn't done shit since he's been in the Giants, so move Wan'Dale Robinson on, and that will free up some space. Again, you're looking at wide receiver, maybe you go for T. Higgins. There's been a whole thing about maybe Cooper Kupp gets traded to skid marks, but that's for another day. But again, maybe you find somebody at tight end that you could see in the free agency and go, that could be our guy. But yeah, Brian Daboll is definitely going to be on the hot seat this year, especially if they don't get a quarterback. If they don't come out of this draft with at least a quarterback, it's going to be another long season, Giant fans.